There comes a time when life throws you a curveball that doesn't look like the Hollywood-style breakdown. Nope, no waterworks or dramatic screams, just a colossal, all-encompassing silence, like the void where joy used to reside. You drag yourself out of bed to find the world wrapped in a dreary, colorless haze. Coffee. It tastes just like bland wallpaper glue. Your favorite tune. It's like a distant echo from an amusement park you used to love. You tell yourself you're okay because, technically, you are. You put on that charming smile and claim, I'm fine. But deep down, a little rabbit of truth is thumping, reminding you that something's seriously off. Hey everyone, welcome to Psychologist Jeep, the quiet corner of the internet for people who've stopped pretending to feel fine. This one's for those who laugh at the right moments but don't really feel the punchline anymore. Emotional numbness isn't a flaw. It's what happens when your mind gets tired of breaking and starts building walls instead. We're not here to fix you, but to understand why so many of us have learned to survive by going silent inside. So take a breath. Grab your tea, and let's peel back the psychology behind emotional paralysis together. If this resonates with you, like the video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and drop a comment below. Where are you watching from, and how does this hit you today? Psychologists reveal that emotional numbness is a crafty little defense mechanism that activates when your emotional circuitry goes haywire. It's your brain's version of a safety switch, designed to help when you've taken too many hard hits in life. Imagine a circuit board going kaput from overheating, powered off not as punishment but as a protective measure. Yet here's the kicker, in trying to shield you, it slaps a do not enter sign onto all feelings. No joy, no pain, just nothingness. The very castle you built for protection transforms into an unforgiving prison. A friend of mine once brilliantly articulated the plight of emotional numbness. It's not that I don't want to feel, I just forgot how. Isn't that a gut punch? This is not just about losing happiness, it's about losing the very essence of being alive. You drift through life, like an extra in your own movie, disconnected, wondering when you turn from vibrant living to mere existing. Spoiler alert, you're not broken. You're just in self-preservation mode, waiting for a map back to yourself. Our brains are wired for emotional regulation, cleverly trying to keep us safe from the stormy seas of overwhelming feelings. When emotions rise too high, your brain dials down the intensity, not because it wants to ruin your fun, but to help you survive the onslaught. The trade-off: you risk losing access to the rich tapestry of human emotions, like the bittersweet flavor of empathy or the exhilaration of love. It's like being a puppet with severed strings. You might be standing upright, but you're missing the moves that make you dance. Enter the concept of emotional blunting, often tied to chronic stress, trauma, or depression. Picture it. The calmest, most poised person in the room might be the one who has shut down the hardest. They've constructed an emotional fortress to guard against vulnerability, but have gradually mistaken those fortified walls for a peaceful sanctuary. Bummer alert. Numbness is a far cry from peace. It's like wearing a mask that disguises quiet pain, an insidious little twist of fate. And oh boy, does emotional numbness creep in unsuspectingly. At first, it seems slight and indifference toward things you once cherished. The excitement fizzles like a flat soda, and the tears stop flowing. But it's not because you're channeling some superhuman strength. It's simply that the rust of emotional overload has sealed shut the faucet of feelings. You find yourself muttering phrases like, I don't care anymore, not out of sheer apathy, but rather from sheer exhaustion. It's as if your emotional battery is running on empty, leaving you in a strange limbo between existence and vitality. Beneath all that emotional numbness lies a vivid tapestry of stories, often tangled in heartbreak and exhaustion. Think about the mother who poured her love into everyone else until she lost sight of her own identity, or the strong man, conditioned to hold everything in, shoving his feelings down like an overstuffed suitcase. And let's not forget that friend, the ultimate listener, who always nods but hardly shares. Each of these lives is a testament to emotional labor that goes unnoticed. As the years roll by, the body begins to absorb a tough lesson. If experiencing feelings equals danger, then not feeling becomes the ultimate form of safety. It's like a bizarre game of emotional hide and seek. But here's the kicker. This adaptation doesn't mean healing is happening. It's merely survival wearing a very dull costume. Those who find themselves emotionally numb didn't volunteer for this. Instead, they were pushed into it, where disappointment became their routine and emotional exhaustion became the norm. The reality is, they stop feeling not because they are weak, but because they've gained a heavy wisdom born out of countless emotional letdowns. Why open up when it seems every leap of faith inevitably leads to heartbreak? But hold on a second, psychology is about to light a path toward hope. Neuroscience is a real game changer, reminding us that our brains aren't set in stone, they're actually flexible like a yoga instructor, ready for a transformation. So, if emotional numbness is a temporary intermission rather than a lifetime sentence, this gives us a glimmer of hope. The first step toward feeling again. It often involves a phase of stillness that is far from simple. It's slow, and at times downright uncomfortable. Much like defrosting a frozen turkey, those emotions begin to thaw, revealing themselves in exciting yet painful ways, little by little. You'll notice the sun casting a golden glow on your workspace, or feel a rush as a song strikes a chord deep within your heart. But to navigate this thawing process, you must confront a prickly reality. Emotional numbness isn't merely a lack of feelings. It's more like an intricate suppression of those feelings, waiting for the right time to resurface. Once you begin to embrace those emotions instead of running from them, the fog starts to lift, and your true self emerges. It's the part of you that knows the value of deep empathy, often hidden beneath layers of wisdom turned heavy. What's fascinating is that self-proclaimed emotionally numb folks often hold profound emotional intelligence. They're not cold or detached, but rather sensitive souls who learn to shield their feelings. Picture them as highly observant detectives, taking note of every unspoken word, every subtle shift in emotion. They were wired for connection until that connection became an emotional trap. So, they cautiously closed the door to their feelings. Not permanently, just until the emotional landscape feels safe enough to explore again. It's a temporary barricade, a means of self-preservation, not a rejection of the world. And once they feel ready to crack that door open, they might discover that their capacity to feel deeply remains intact, waiting patiently in the wings for the spotlight to shine again, allowing them to embrace life fully and joyfully. Numbness isn't about counting days until you wake up feeling whole again. It's more of a heart matter, a trust issue. Imagine your heart as a shy pet that needs coaxing to come out from under the bed. It's not just a matter of time. You have to create a safe space, gently assuring it that everything is okay. Many people mislabel the emotionally numb as cold or callous. But the truth is they're often just scared little rabbits trying to avoid a stampede of emotions. It's like watching a horror movie where the scary parts sneak up unexpectedly, flooding your senses with feelings you've long buried. Suddenly being forced to confront a tidal wave of emotions after a dry spell is terrifying. The real trick, don't push them to feel something. That's like trying to shove a cat into a bathtub. Instead, wrap them in a comforting blanket of acceptance, free from judgment or obligation, letting them explore feelings at their own pace. For those trapped in numbness, remember, it's not a character flaw, but a coping mechanism. Think of it as your brain's way of putting up a do not disturb sign after too many emotional roller coasters. No need to feel bad about needing to step back. You were just doing what was necessary to manage the chaos around you. The lovely, vibrant part of you that once celebrated, cried, and loved isn't gone, it's just waiting patiently for your invitation to join the party again. And here's the kicker: people think numbness magically fades when life suddenly gets better. But spoiler alert, it's the calm after the storm, not the storm itself, that can leave you feeling silent. You close your eyes and, in the stillness, notice everything has changed, including you. Even if the chaos has passed, your body remains on high alert, scanning for danger like it's still in entertainment mode. While the world around you just won't stop copying cat videos. In reality, emotional numbness is like an unwanted friend who squats at your heart's door, serving as a sort of unwanted emotional protection. It's not like you're devoid of feelings. Rather, you've put up a fortress around the last bits of energy you have left. Psychology calls it emotional avoidance, which may sound fancy, but it's just your brain keeping receipts for all the pain you'd rather forget, and instead, just hamming it up like a professional. You might wear the mask of calmness, laughing or nodding at all the right times, but deep inside it's more of a one-woman show. When did the act of living morph into merely pretending? Eventually, you might convince yourself that this performative version of life is just who you are now. But let me tell you, that's not your true self. It's your survival mode, taking the stage but leaving the real you backstage, feeling like a ghost in your own existence. This whole emotional brick wall often hides an avalanche of unprocessed stories and years of trying to cope with emotional chaos. Many grew up thinking expressing feelings was somehow a bad thing. Stop crying. Don't be sad. Phrases that buried emotional truths tighter than a suitcase at a vacation resort. So, the body adapted, muted the noise it couldn't grapple with, and voila, we've got emotional avoidance. We fill our time with busy tasks and endless scrolling, using distractions as a shield. Whispering sweet nothings to ourselves about not wanting to feel right now. How human. But here's to hoping someday soon we can rebuild the bridges to those lost emotions. Feelings have a sneaky way of sticking around even when you try to ignore them. They stack up like dusty old boxes in your attic, waiting for a moment of attention. Numbness might feel like a cozy blanket, but it's really just an intermission, like your soul is saying, hold on, we're not done yet. This quiet state is not a finale but a timeout, a moment where you're poised at the edge of transition, ready to leap into the next chapter. Psychology tells us emotions are like energetic signals, buzzing with life and intent. When we press snooze on our feelings, they don't vanish. Rather, they take residence in our bodies. So, fatigue, brain fog, and unexplained aches often crash the party. Trust me, your body isn't staging a coup, it's simply whispering, I remember. Healing starts when you lean in and start to tune in again slowly, gently, at your own pace. You might notice when you're tempted to tune out, the familiar urge to scroll shamelessly through social media or zone out during a heart-tugging song. Those knee-jerk reactions are actually your personal invitation back to feeling. They're not challenges, they're gateways. It's not about landing those emotional fireworks. It's about cultivating safe spaces in your life. Healing from numbness isn't a big production. Instead, it's about nurturing small, consistent moments that help your body. Remember, it can be safe. Mindfulness practices, therapy, and grounding techniques work like secret agents, secretly rebuilding trust within. Picture this. You're teaching your nervous system that emotions aren't a death sentence. Numbness happens when your body feels under threat, whispering, how can I survive another emotional hit? The healing journey is proving to yourself that the world can still be a safe space, though it's often messy and unpredictable. But don't be misled. Healing isn't a neat little linear path. Some days you'll feel that spark, and others. Welcome back to Numbsville. And guess what? That's absolutely fine. Emotional clarity doesn't knock down your door in a dramatic reveal. It dribbles in through tiny, heartfelt moments. It's the first real laugh after ages, a tear that feels strangely familiar, or finally saying, I'm not okay. And having someone just sit with you in solidarity. It's vital to recognize that numbness can wear many disguises, like irritability, constant distraction, or even perfectionism. For some, it's retreating into the shadows because engaging feels like climbing Everest. At the heart of these behaviors is a resonant cry: I just want to feel safe again. This journey shifts from fixing yourself to treating yourself like that beloved friend you always give pep talks to. The antidote to numbness isn't something extreme. It's about finding small, soothing routines like taking a walk without earphones or letting a favorite song wash over you unfiltered. Simple, right? But these rituals lay the foundation for emotional presence, inching you closer to awareness. You see, numbness doesn't stand a chance where genuine awareness starts to bloom, and as you engage more with the world around you, the uncomfortable layers of numbness begin to unfurl at last. Life has a way of sneaking back in when you least expect it. You start to notice the golden glow of sunlight cutting through your window, the joy of laughter echoing in your ears, and the bittersweet tug of nostalgia pulling at your heart. It's all so fragile, yet it feels undeniably real. In a world obsessed with perfection, it's heartening to find that the real stuff, the messy, authentic moments of living, will always have the upper hand. There comes a point when you realize you've stopped being just a viewer of your own life. You're no longer sitting on the sidelines, you've jumped into the game. Often, this shift is something that can't be quantified, yet everyone can feel. It's that moment when you stop enduring life and start to feel like you belong. But let's toss aside the idea that happiness is the end goal. Instead, it's all about embracing honesty, allowing ourselves the freedom to feel the full array of emotions, without slapping on labels of good or bad. Emotional numbness is a sneaky little critter that thrives on societal pressures. It pushes us to keep a brave face, to be the strong one who's always grateful and composed. But healing, it blossoms when we can lean into every emotion, be it joy or sadness, without panic. True emotional maturity grows from the ability to sit with discomfort and understand it's all part of the beautiful, messy dance we call life. If you find you're living in a fog of numbness, perhaps it's time to rethink healing entirely. It's not about smashing back into who you used to be, but about expanding yourself to embrace more feelings, more experiences, and more truth. You're not searching for lost emotions. They've been hiding beneath the surface all along, just waiting for the right moment to resurface. All that's needed is the courage to wade through the chaos and embrace your own complexity. It's so tempting to rush toward feeling better, but what if you allowed yourself to be confused, messy, and real instead? Numbness flourishes when we try to suppress our emotions. The magic happens when you let go of that pressure. Suddenly, emotions flow back to you, not as an overwhelming tide, but like gentle rivers guiding you back home. It's a nostalgic sort of joy when life feels like a dance again. All its ups and downs weaving a story that belongs to you. Psychologically, there's a nifty concept called re-engagement. It's like rediscovering life after a long sabbatical of emotional withdrawal. You start making that all-important eye contact again. Chuckles feel genuine, and you catch sight of a person in the mirror who looks a little more familiar. This journey isn't about reaching for perfection. Instead, it's a glorious mess of re-engaging with life on your own terms. The change won't hit you out of the blue. It will creep in softly. One day, you'll find yourself simply smiling, warmth radiating from your very core. It's then you'll realize that the numbness hasn't vanished into thin air. You've simply outgrown it. Along the way, you've learned to celebrate emotion rather than shy away from it. The gentle rediscovery is healing at its finest. An experience that no one can fully grasp until they've felt it themselves. So, take it easy. There's no need to rush this beautiful process. It's more about being present quietly, clumsily, and in your own way. And one morning, you'll wake up only to discover that silence has morphed into something so much richer, softer, and undeniably alive. The journey may seem daunting, but trust that each step takes you closer to feeling entirely authentic, weaving the masterpiece of your life with every single stroke.